Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the Summit programming. It's my pleasure to introduce Jason Caston. You have read his illustrious bio in your programs. You have heard him introduced last night and heard his presentation, and the Q&A was great. And that's why we're back. We are back to hear him again. And you know, I asked him, I said, Jason, how would you like us to know you? He said, I'd like them to know that I'm a social media specialist whose whole focus is to help advance ministry online. That's his whole focus. He also told me a little bit about his family. He's been married to his wife, Demetria, over 6 years, and guess how they met? Yes, they did, and they have 2 beautiful daughters, Jasmine, she's 7, and Jaylyn, she's 5, and guess what? He says he lives in a house full of women, he's outvoted and outruled, but he's thrilled with that because they are all tech fanatics like him. Every piece of technology he knows, his 5-year-old also knows. So please welcome, let's all put our hands together, and welcome Jason Caston. I'd also like to introduce one of our Adventist pastors here that are with us today, and this is Dr. Kermit Netterberg. He is pastoring at the Beltsville Seventh-day Adventist Church in Maryland. He's a longtime communication professional, statistician, educator, and he's going to be the guinea pig today. We are going to look forward to this clinic that he's going to be asking questions of Jason today. Thanks, okay. Kermit.
We've got microphones here. Jason, social media clinic. So I'm the patient here, you know. I'm going to do like John Bradshaw told us this morning. I'm going naked here and saying to you, what do we do? We've got a website. Tell me what we ought to have on a website. What's my first step in making sure my website's a good one?
Well, initially you want to look at the user experience of the website. So first we're looking at the user as far as from the user's perspective. Do you have the content that they're looking for in this website? Do you have the layout as far as you want to integrate the multimedia, the images? We don't want to make it extremely wordy, but we want to have the important content. And one of the most important things you want to make sure that you have is with your website, you want to make sure that any user can get to anywhere on your website within 3 clicks. 3 clicks. So even if you have to put a sitemap at the bottom of your every web page so that people can get to any page, they have to be able to get to your site anywhere in your site within 3 clicks, because we know a majority of people, the average web user, you only have about 3 to 5 seconds when they get to your website to hold their attention or they're gone.
What's the best way for us to take a look even maybe in deeper at how that applies? You want to take a look at the website our church has and give us some ideas? Can we get that up technologically?
Yeah, let's pull it up.
Okay.
Okay, what's the site?
I'm going to type it in, is beltsvillesda.org. Okay, give us a look at this and tell us, okay, what ought to work better? What ought to work different? What do you see? What steps out to you? What are the things that are going to make websites better? What are the ways communication happens in the best process?
Okay, first things first. When we're looking at this site and taking into context, this is a social media clinic. The first thing I would want to see is where are the social media aspects of this website. So if you have a Facebook fan page, if you have a Twitter page, you want to have those icons normally somewhere near the top. If not near the top, then you don't want to get in the way of the content and put it at the bottom. Oh, whoops, let me go back to that. Now, next, we also want to make sure that if I come to this site and you all show me something that I really, really like, and I see something on this page that really stands out to me, I want to be able to somehow share this site with my social media network. So there you want to either have a share button on there that you can get from sharethis.com or addtoany.com, or you want to have a Facebook like button that you can set up from Facebook that you want to have on here. You want to make sure that as people come to your site, the moment they see something that they like, they can share it. So that way that they can continue to let other people know that when I got here, I saw something I like and you need to see it too. That's what, make sure you have those aspects on here. Next, we want to let's look at the user experience. We see some of the content that you pull them in with, asking a question, confused and frustrated, but we also will want to integrate more multimedia now. So as we're looking at how important and how impactful video is today in pulling people in and holding people's attention, if we have this content right here, but right next to it, we could put a nice video of having, say, the pastor or someone in leadership ask the question, are you confused? Now it's more personal. Now someone's asking me, am I confused? Am I frustrated? And then, in addition to this information that you provide here, someone's telling me the solution for someone who may not, people have short attention spans. They may not want to read all that, even though this is only a few lines, but if somebody's talking to them, that might hold their attention because they may be more visually stimulated from the images or more stimulated from hearing what that video has.
So I'm hearing a couple of things that'll help a website move into a new generation of websites that are going to make it more a social media outlet instead of this is who I am, pay attention to me. And I'm hearing two things. One is help people be able to share stuff. And second, make it easy for them to feel connected with you. A video being a more personal thing than a bunch of words on a page.
Exactly. You have to, and again, when we're talking about what analytics show in terms of how quick people will leave the site, because you want to make sure your site has good stickiness in terms of Google Analytics terms, which is how long they stay on the site. We're talking 3 to 5 seconds. So in 3 to 5 seconds, when I get to this site, I need to see something that catches me for me to even continue reading. If I come there and I see that video or I see this content, if I'm more of a text type of person, then that'll be fine. And that way, you're pulling in a variety of different people. No matter how they want to receive the information, you got them.
How often, you're talking about a video on there, or the text information, how often would you update it? I think you were telling us some about that, but tell us some more about, okay, this page has been up now for 24 hours. Throw it away?
No, absolutely not. Now, because there are a certain amount of people that you will touch in that 24 hours, but there are some people that you may not touch, that may not come back to your site for 3 to 5 days. So with your site, you can update it, you should update it at least weekly. You can update it more often than not, but you want to make sure that you don't remove the information so quickly that somebody that may have a busy schedule and not get back to your site except for every 3 to 4 days doesn't miss something that was important that could help them. So that's how you want to make sure you look at that. But in terms of updating things more daily, that's what you push information out to your social networks using your Facebook or your Twitters or YouTube videos. You push stuff out to that much more frequently, but your website you can update a little less frequent, like say every 3 to 5 days.
Okay. Anything else you would look at this and say, yeah, add this, move that out, take this away? What else how many items should you have on a page that somebody comes to? Do you hit a point of diminishing returns?
Based on what I've seen so far, I think that a lot of things that you have as far as what your site is looking like, it looks like you have a variety of information. You have the events that someone will be looking for. You have the initial call as far as what you're asking them. So the only thing you could do with this page, if you're not going to redesign the entire site, say because you want to change that, then you want to make sure that you start to integrate, as we spoke about earlier, the more multimedia, more images, not overkill, but just a good, nice image or a nice video or some type of multimedia to complement the text that you have there so that you have the full integrated website.
One more item. What would you do on a website, this one or any one, that would increase the likelihood they're going to be in touch with you?
So if you want to do that, as far as them being able to reach out and actually communicate with you.
You talked about have a share button so they can share it with a friend, but how about the opposite thing? I want them to respond to me.
Oh, absolutely. Then let's see. We have I believe at the end, the contact us button there. Usually that's how people have been conditioned to use that. But if you want to make it more immediate, then you would try and look for a software that might be a continuous chat software. Sometimes you see that when you go to a certain site where they're selling something, they say chat with us now. If you want to be that connected, then you can add that type of module here to this site so that if somebody wants to talk to you right then you can immediately start chatting with them. Or just put a regular Facebook chat box right there on your page, and people can start a dialogue as soon as they enter your page. It's just how connected do you want to be, and who will be the person from your ministry that will make sure that they're continually make sure that's a two-way response. Because if I come there and I submit a chat or something and I have a question that's really important to me and nobody responds, then you don't know how I'm going to take that.
Yeah, it's safer to have just the contact us button.
Absolutely.
And just the contact us button is not something that's off-putting enough that it gets people away from the website and they don't care to ever come back.
No,
contact us is still helping me keep a strong social media presence.
Contact us is specifically for them to contact you through the website, but in addition to that, you can give them other ways. So when you start looking at the social media avenues.
Now, I'm going to ask you another question. If somebody out here wants to bring us up a website URL, you're willing to take a look at those too, and we can do the clinic with theirs?
Absolutely.
As well? Okay.
Absolutely.
If you've got a URL you'd like to bring up, can you do me a favor and get it on a slip of paper? And I'm going to ask somebody to run it up to me as opposed to us taking the time to shout it out. Anything else you would suggest in terms of a social media clinic here for this website?
I think that we've touched base on the main ones, which would be the Facebook and the Twitters and say the YouTube. But the other one that I would want to talk about, and to make sure I look through this one more time, would be blogs. Blogs are RSS feeds. You want to make sure that in addition to those main three that we talked about, you want to look at implementing and integrating some type of blog, because not only does that give the user a way to connect with, say, the leadership or the pastor, who's ever putting out the information of the blog or the ministry, but also that gives a way for the ministry to let if it's some type of breaking information or some type of important information needs to get out quickly, they can utilize the social networks as well as the blog to get information out. So that's another way of another stream of communication that should be utilized.
Okay. How would you put a blog on this page? Would you start the blog on the page and say read more, or do you have a click go to the blog?
I would actually add the blog as a section of the page. See, right now, if we were to add a video to this particular page, I would add the video on the left-hand side and move that content to the right. At the bottom left-hand corner, I would move all that information in the footer all the way down to the bottom. In the bottom left-hand corner, I would have a clip or an excerpt of the blog, and then, of course, the click more to read more button. So we could go ahead and utilize that space, and then, of course, if we have that space at the bottom left with the blog, then we need to put something in the bottom right, because we want to make sure that space was occupied.
Okay. Give us a summary of the 5 things you do here while I'm typing in the new website. And we'll go to a second website. Okay,
so what we were talking about, just to recap what we were talking about earlier, was when you come here, you want to make sure you look for have the social media icon so online user can connect. You want to make sure you have the like information so that the user can let someone know immediately that they saw something that impacted them. You want to make sure that people can get to your page anywhere on your site within 3 clicks. 2 to 3 clicks would be good, but 3 clicks at max, and then just make sure that you integrate the multimedia and the other aspects so that there's a full integrated user experience for this website.
Let's take a look at the next one.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to take a look at the Southern Adventist University website here.
All right.
Coming up for us now. Southern is a very popular place because it's loading slowly. It has to be really full down there right now. And I can see Gordon Beats being very happy about that. How about that?
Sure.
How about load time? How long will somebody wait for a website?
Well, we do know that in this society we're bombarded with a whole bunch of information, so if a site does take a long time to load, more often than not, the user is going to probably click refresh once, maybe twice, and then after that, you probably will lose their attention. Yeah. Now, again, some people do compensate for their connection. You know, if they might have a slower connection in a particular area. If they know that their house has a slower connection, they might compensate for that. But on average, the average broadband user that's used to getting everything right when they want it, like they do when they go to McDonald's, they want their websites the same way.
Okay, and we are coming up with the website now. Mm-hmm. It's filling in.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it possible that your front
Question is it possible that the front page has got so much on it loads too slowly?
Well, that is a possibility. It definitely is. When you look at the way you want to load stuff, you do have to preload images, because when you start talking about loading, you have to look at caching in the browser, and is this a totally new user who has never been to your page before? Because in most browsers cache, and I mean download and save every image that they come across on the web page. So when you have your programmer that's building this page, you're talking to your tech geek that's building this page, you're gonna make sure you let them know, I want these images to be preloaded, therefore they will load faster for the end user. And there's other ways, other JavaScript scripts you can use as far as to make sure the pages load faster. So you basically want to make sure that let the user know that you're aware there are ways this page can load faster, and ask them what do they suggest. They may know some tricks of the trade.
Okay, we've got this page up. I notice the connect to the Facebook and the Twitter and so on.
Absolutely.
What else do you see on here? What would you say works, doesn't work? How do we make this go? And how does this help us with the social aspects of media?
Okay, now when we look at this page, and let me scroll all the way to the bottom so I can see what all they have going on. Okay. Now, we see a lot of things going right here. First and foremost, one thing I noticed as soon as I started scrolling, you see that little feedback option right there. So that's immediate response as far as if I'm a user, I can speak on talk to the university about how I feel about the website or express my concern. I see the connectivity buttons as far as letting us know that you can go to these fan pages and so on and so forth. The one additional thing I would like to see, because I do see a lot of things right, the one additional thing I would like to see is I would like to immediately let my friends and fans know that I'm here while using a like button or a share button or some type of add to any button or something like that, so I can let someone know I just logged on to this website. You need to see exactly what I'm seeing. Now, another thing that they use, which is a good practice that I'm seeing more often in web, is these huge banners right here. You see how these huge images are meant to pull you in. They're also integrating video into these banners as well. So this is these banners are done more often than not with JavaScript and jQuery for any of you tech geeks out there that want to know exactly how to do this. Usually done with JavaScript or jQuery. They used to be done in Flash. People move away from Flash as HTML5 starts to move up and become more of a priority, led by Apple rejecting Flash on the iDevices. So you're starting to see a lot more of that. So you see these banners and stuff like that that's pulling people in, and immediately when they get to the page, the first thing you see is an engaging picture. And then as you move down, you start to see more of the categories. Let's go down a little bit. You start to see the way that these categories are broken up, and it's kind of similar to how I was talking about with the blogs before, broken up into different sections so that you can clearly see what you want to look at in each particular section. It looks like I want to say the news section, I'm not sure if those are links, but they look like they are. It would be something similar like the blog example we were talking about before, where you can click on it and view more as far as what's going on. But the way this page is sectioned out and the way things are laid out on this page is really good. I like this layout. Like I said, the only thing I would like to see is just I want to be able to immediately share it as soon as I come on.
Okay. We've got this one. Let's take a look at, whoops, I want to come up here. We'll take a look at another one. Anything, one more item you want to mention about this while I'm getting to the next place?
Yeah, at the top of this page, I noticed a search box, and that's something that I sometimes see on some pages. Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing. If when you're putting your site together, if you're using a type of management system where, and again, this is stuff that you just want to make sure you have a conversation with your web person. If they're using a good management system and the search feature is built into it and it works very well, then you implement that on your site. If they don't have that functionality working very well, which I've seen some sites where it doesn't work, that you might as well just take it off the site altogether. So unless the search function works as well as a Google search, which is how accurate and we enjoy using Google and how easy it is for us to use, unless your search function works that easily, do not put it on your site. So I'm not sure how theirs work, but it looks like it's a good deal up there.
Are there search engines you would recommend that you can put on your site?
I've seen Google provide some type of search functionality that you can implement on your site. I haven't used it as of late. Only ones I've used have been built in, which it looks like this particular functionality is built into the management system based on what I saw. So I would say you just have to test the functionality built into the system when you put the site up. Again, all I'm saying is if it doesn't work as well as it should and as great as a Google search, how easy that is, do not put it on your site. You just frustrate your users.
Okay, let's move on to the next site. This is thechurchplace.com. Local church, I'm fairly confident, that has a website up.
All right. Okay. Okay, still loading.
There is a
All
picture loading in there. I feel
All right,
pretty
all right.
confident.
Let's see what we got going on down at the bottom here. Okay, so we see some podcasts going on, email newsletter. Looks good, okay. Facebook group, okay, nice. Okay. So you see a lot of good things going on here. I'm not sure as far as, okay, I like the first, initially starting off, you start off as this picture loads up, you see the immediate integration of pictures, again, an aspect of multimedia, nice large logo there, definitely pulls you in. I do see the Place Facebook page. Now, that's good, which I think is a group. So what I would suggest for this particular site is if you're using a group, actually I would say not to use a group or try and transition this group over to an actual Facebook fan page. The difference between groups, Facebook groups and Facebook fan pages is when it comes down in terms of custom pages and custom tabs that you want to use to start to basically customize the user experience that the user has when they come to your fan page. You can only do that in Facebook pages. That's what Facebook pages was created for, to be the business center of Facebook and the customization center of Facebook in terms of starting to create their experience. So with a group is good for communication, and that's great. And if you want to just communicate with your users, then by all means, use a group. But if you want to start building these custom tabs and start integrating live broadcasts into Facebook and any type of other interactivity into Facebook, then you have to look at a Facebook fan page. So that's one thing I would say for them to do with this page. Another thing I would say is if you have this Facebook page, instead of making a link, I put an icon somewhere because people recognize the Facebook icon. So I would definitely say to change that link to an icon. Which one? Is there an icon down there? Okay, did I miss that? Oh, there we go. Oh, that's even better. Okay, good. I see it on the left, and this looks like a page, the page module, the page stream module that you get from Facebook, which is this is a good deal right here, because right there you can like the fan page and become part of their experience. Definitely that's a good thing I like to see right there. So in addition to that, I would just say, and I'm not sure as far as how with the clicks that I was talking about as far as 2 and 3 and stuff like that, but another thing I want to look at would be just integrating the video into this, making sure that the multimedia aspect of this, the usage of video is so, it pulls people in so much with a well-done video. Now, of course, you know, if the video's not that great, then you might turn them away, but a well-done video pulls people in so much that we all know that video is the most consumed media right now, rising media in terms of the internet. So that's why you see in every phone that you get, more often than not, YouTube is built in. because they know how much we consume video. Facebook, you can load videos up, and they have their particular video module, and just much more video can be utilized and consumed. And that's why YouTube has over, I want to say like 24 hours of video uploaded every minute or two or something like that. So because people are just creating and consuming video in vast amounts. So you want to make sure you integrate that into your sites. And now also too, one more thing. When we look at video, it doesn't have to be a professionally created video piece. Flip cams are going out of business now, but an iPod Touch HD video done that you can record something from, say, the pastor or leadership is definitely something you can utilize and put on your website, because everything doesn't have to be professionally done. Some things can just be right off the cuff. I want hear a message from the pastor, and you can put that in video and get it up very quickly.
So we're not talking about heavy production issues. We're talking instead about something that connects with an audience.
Exactly. And in terms of production, I mean, even if we look at production, we do know that you can take a video and create a masterpiece with heavy production. But the right kid with a Mac can do the same thing. So it's more so of the skill set and the tools.
Okay, let's take this look over to.
I think Ray has a question.
We've got a question back here. Question on the Facebook icon. That's actually where I was going,
okay.
But whoops.
The social plugins. Okay. Now, what we're seeing right here are the social plugins that you can use when you create a fan page. Then you can use these social plugins to actually integrate Facebook into your site. Facebook actually gives you the tools. All you have to do is copy and paste. So, for example, if we have a fan page and we want to add the like button that I've been talking about, once you click on that, they're going to ask you for a few things like what's your Facebook fan page, the username and URL that they give you, and then also how large, what size do you want it to be, and so on and so forth. And then they'll actually give you the code that you can take back and put on your site, and you can integrate this into your site. So Facebook gives you this stuff even with the send button and the comments and the activity feed, which is the activity feed is actually what we were looking at just before what we clicked on. But these type of tools are there for you on Facebook so that you can integrate them into your website. You don't have to do a lot of programming or anything like that. It's just that you might need a tech person to actually know where to put it in the code on your actual website. So that is one thing you will need a tech person for.
Okay, are there other questions from the audience here? I see a question back there. We're bringing a microphone to you. Oh, we have a website we want to bring up. Okay, I'm going to take this back and, oh dear, okay. Did we come up with a new page?
No, you close. Yeah, just close
okay,
that one
that's
out.
what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
Then I wanted to come up here. There was a Facebook here, and we had talked about this, but without seeing it. Oh, and I got to sign up for that to get into it. Then I'm not going there. Okay, let's take a look at another website. We have 2 or 3 other websites that people have asked. Let's take a look at those. Okay, and we have switched network feeds, so we're going to move a little more quickly. This is another website. This happens to be for a conference, a church organization.
All right, let's see what we got. All right, so what I'm looking at here is we see, first things I would say is when we're looking at terms in real estate, we got to start looking at what the user sees as soon as they get to the website. Okay, again, we already know about the whole social media aspect. We want to integrate the social media icons and so on and so forth. But let's start looking at the use of real estate here. Usually, let's see, we probably say that takes about, this whole entire website is about 2.5 screens. So what we want to make sure when a user comes to the website is usually in that first screen, before they scroll and see anything, that they can see what is the most important aspect of this website. So right now we're spending quite a bit of real estate on this banner up here, which the banner is beautiful. It's actually one of the very, very good and very well done. But I'm not sure if I'm an average user and I come to this site, as soon as I first see this, I'm not sure exactly what aspect of the conference, as far as what you're trying to get across to me. Now, by saying that, here's what I mean. When I come down here and I see this information right here, and I see how this big, huge picture right here, I see this information right here, and this gets a little, the picture starts to become a little more clear to me as far as when this particular conference is and what the dates is and so on and so forth. So with this site, again, with the things that we've already stated, only thing I would suggest is probably move this banner, make this banner a little smaller, and move the relevant information up as much as possible so that, again, we're looking at the worst case scenario when we're looking at an average user. Now, the user that's seeking out the information will come, scroll, click, look for everything that you have on your site until they find it. But when you're coding and building these sites, you want to build for the worst case user, the impatient user, the user that has that's clicking on stuff at home, has kids in one ear, spouse in the other ear, and they're trying to get this information quickly before they have to go take care of something else. Or they're looking on their mobile phone, they need this information, their train stop is a half a stop away, and they need to get this information before they have to get off the train and run and go continue on with their life and figure out what they're going to make for dinner for their families. That's what I'm saying with this particular aspect right here. So this site is good, but we want to make sure we give the information quickly as soon as they get there, as much as possible, and focus on the information of the particular conference when they come on here. So with this particular website.
We're going to one more website to take a look at, but I didn't type it in correctly. Yeah.
And again, the stuff that I'm talking about with these websites, again, a lot of stuff is, there's no exact science to it, but we're looking at as trial and error, what the analytics have shown us as far as with, they tell us how long people stay on your site, what they're looking for, and stuff like that. So the stuff that I'm telling you, again, it's not martial law or anything, but it is best case practices from someone who has done this for a variety of websites. So I'm just giving my best opinion, and of course, I think that if you follow these practices that I'm laying out for you, you will get the results that are intended.
And Jason, I believe that was exactly what we were asking for, your best opinion. Let's take a look at this website as well, the social media aspects. I'm getting smart enough, I can even spot the Facebook icon and the YouTube icon. I'm getting good at this. What do you think, Jason?
See, I see you're well on your way.
What else would you say? It also goes down a ways further.
Okay. One thing I do notice is right off top, you see they've integrated the video right there. You see the video at the top left, which is the welcome video. And I'll look and see what else is going on here. Okay. This site actually looks very similar to a blog site. Okay. So you're seeing the social media aspects of this site where they're giving features to it, and you see the video integration and stuff like that. Now, one thing, only other thing I would suggest for this website, with just a quick overview of looking at it, is again a way to share it immediately. That'd be the only thing that I would suggest adding to this off of first glance. I think everything else, especially it's a good thing I'm seeing that the video link is there, because now I can click on that and see and get a welcome from this website and connect with it more personally. But I also do like the use of the social networking buttons that you can see quickly, and also, if I'm not mistaken, only one thing though, I'm not sure if I'm just looking at it from the perspective of an average user, but what the find day would mean. See, I wouldn't want, sometimes when we're putting the stuff together, us within the organization or us with who are actually putting the site together might think that someone would understand what find day means. And so, therefore, the average user may not. And so, again, we look at the worst case scenario, because the only people that are going to complain or submit requests to the internet talking about you did something wrong is the worst case scenario. So that's why you got to just look at stuff like that. So, but of course, clicking on it, you could find out exactly what it was. But I've dealt with numerous users who asking them to click something is like twisting their arm. So therefore, my practices now is just looking at trying to make sure and avoid those people and those type of users so that the ministry that I'm programming for, the ministry that's built that site, doesn't have to waste time or resources having to address that, and they can focus on getting their message out using this medium.
I've got a question here from someone in the audience. Seems that often websites make it hard to contact a live person. The issue, where's the address of this place if I want to send a surface mail letter? There's an email contact that is office at, but nobody ever looks at it, or there's no list of names and contacts. How common is that? And what are ways around that? If you don't have somebody who's answering email every day, what are the ways to get around that in building social media?
Well, social media is a way to utilize and way to have an answer to that solution. For example, there are companies that you see that are strictly online only. They don't have a physical office, so they don't have a way that you can mail a letter in or come to their office or anything like that. But what they will answer is if you reach out to them on Twitter. So a lot of companies use Twitter as a customer service tool. So therefore, social media does provide another avenue that people can connect with you. For example, a company that I use most often is, again, I think I spoke on them last night, was Hootsuite.com. When Amazon went down about, I think 6 weeks ago, and they took down like 12, 15 companies with them. Amazon they were running their companies off Amazon servers. Hootsuite, only way you could reach Hootsuite because their site was down was through Twitter. So the way that we were able to keep up with them, us who utilize their services, was contacting them through Twitter. So some companies do use Twitter as a tool and may not have the traditional means of using contact, but you have to look at social media as a way to reach out to them. Now, you have to have a Twitter account to reach out to them and so on and so forth. So you have to make sure that you're utilizing that tool so that you can get the answers that you need.
Can you walk us through what it would look like to do a Twitter account? I think we asked yesterday, and there were only about 5 people who had dealt with Twitter. Can you walk us through that?
Okay, no problem. You want to set up a Twitter account?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right, well, let's set up you one. Now, do you have access to an email because they're going to ask you to confirm it. Will you be able to get to an email to confirm it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, let's set you up a Twitter account.
Okay, let's set one up.
Well, there you go. Go ahead and sign up.
Okay. Oh, man, this is exciting. I get a Twitter account out of this. Yeah.
Oh, no, we don't put the email in. Yeah.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
just start with that. Oh, there we go. Now let's go down here.
Okay, and then the email goes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so I got to go back up. I'd want to make that Pastor Kermit that I put up there be something that's actually got a capital letter and a space in it, wouldn't I?
No spaces in the actual username.
Okay, so it's just that word runs across like that. Now, is that too long a word for Twitter?
No, that's not.
Okay.
If that's what you want to use. Do you want to
Do
put
I
your
want
last
to waste
name in?
my characters on that?
No. I
Okay.
think that should be fine. Now,
Okay.
do you want to use your last name or not? You just want to leave it like that?
I'm going to leave it like that.
Okay. So then, let's finish that out. Gmail.com.
Oh, okay.
And then put your password in.
Okay. And then just click sign up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's how hard it is to get started on Twitter.
That's definitely how hard it is. Now, let's see. Oh, you already have one registered under this email
How
account.
about that? Yeah, and I have sent, I think, a total of 0 messages from my Twitter account. But I have 6 people following me, not getting any messages.
Okay, so if you already have one, then let's see. You want to try and find that? You want to try and find that account?
Yeah, sure. Let's do that.
Okay, let's say forgot password.
Actually, I think I know what the password is. I
Oh, you do?
cheated and put that one in.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go ahead and log in then.
Okay, now is my account my name or is it the email address?
No, your account will be the username that you have. So
Okay.
whatever people send you a tweet at,
Okay.
that's what you use as far as your username.
Okay.
All right. So
Okay.
now that we're in, okay, so now let's send a tweet out. So simply here, you can put something that's going on, like I'm now on stage sending a tweet. Now you got to make sure you only got 140 characters.
Yeah, and I just quit.
Oh, you got.
Does that mean I have 91 used or 91 yet to go?
You have 91 yet.
Okay.
Left.
I did not watch it count me down or count me up. Oh, there are 6 people in this world who are so happy they just got a tweet from me.
See that? Yeah, now there's more people are going to follow you. Now you're much more active. So, and that's
Okay.
pretty much the gist of it.
If you have not been doing tweets, that is how tough it is. Even if you want to do twits, that's how it works. Somebody yesterday mentioned they were going to do twits. Okay, do we have any more questions? And has anybody online asking us questions? Anybody been mailing that in or sending stuff in here from this? Okay, George is watching for us. I'm going to ask you to do one other thing for us then.
All right.
Give us a look. Oh, we've got a question out here. Let's take the questions for where we've been so far. Yeah, microphone's coming to you.
So now that you have the Twitter account, what kind of stuff would a person put in their Twitter account so that people would want to follow them? Like obviously having a good day-to-day, I'm on stage, but what really does appeal to people so they want to follow you and you have this audience?
I'm gonna ask Jason to answer that, but I'm gonna tell you it makes a difference if you're Kermit Netterberg or Lindsay Lohan. Now, having said that.
Yesterday we talked about a strategy as far as what to send out, when to send it out. Let's recap on that. The stuff you should send out, because they're basically people are going to look at it like, why should I follow you? What's in it for me? So if we look at what we could send out, again, photos, videos, and this stuff you can send out all through Twitter. Photos, videos, updates, definitely daily inspiration, links, and stuff like that. In addition to sending out relevant information that you may find from, that somebody else may put out and you're just being a conduit of information, you also want to put out the information, the pastor or leadership may want to put out information that they generate. But again, as putting out this information and putting it out consistently with Twitter, it's not the same as Facebook. Facebook, you may update 3-4 times a day, but Twitter, 100 times a day. You just keep pushing information out, but make sure you're pushing out the content because that keeps people engaged as far as why they should follow you, and then they start interacting with you. So also make sure you retweet, respond to people, and make sure it's a two-way street.
Okay, I think we've got another question back here. Yes.
Yeah, I've got 2 questions for you. One of the things that some of us are using, and I'm especially using, is what you'd call probably email marketing. Mm-hmm. Sending out email news.
Yes.
One of the things that I've noticed, and I've been doing this for about 10 years, is that people change their email addresses at an irritating rate. I mean, we're probably sending to so many bad addresses that I don't even know how valid it is in terms of getting the news out there. Right. The other factor that I'm hearing is that like some universities no longer even give their students email accounts because the students aren't using them. They're doing all of their connecting and communication sharing on Facebook. Mm-hmm. What's happening there in terms of that, and what would you suggest to our organizations which have been really relying on and growing in terms of sharing real-time news through email? What should we do? Should we abandon our email marketing and go to Facebook, or should we keep it going? And how do we get these people to stay connected?
Okay, well, let's look at email marketing, e-blast. What you're looking at right now is you're witnessing and experiencing a transition. E-blast, initially when they came out, were great when everybody was embracing email, but we're seeing a transition from email into other means of communication. So all we have to do, us who utilize, and ministries who utilize e-blast, is broaden your horizons. Do not abandon the email marketing campaigns that you're doing, because you still have a certain conversion rate, whether it be 2, 5, 10, 20%, that you can still benefit from. But you have to look at when you're sitting in your meeting and you're coming up with your marketing plan and you say, okay, line item, email marketing, right underneath that, Twitter marketing, right underneath that, Facebook marketing. So that way you're taking that same content and repackaging it and pushing it out through a different channel, because the generation that, or there are certain users that you're seeing that you're trying to reach that are no longer embracing email, not because of what you're sending out, but because spam ruined it. So since spam has ruined some people's email experience, Twitter is much easier, Facebook is much easier, and as well as the younger generation, they were never taught to embrace email. The first thing they logged onto was some type of social network, so therefore that's what they embraced, and that's how they respond and communicate. And the colleges have adapted, which is why they're no longer pushing out, giving email addresses.
Now, I've got some limitations with Twitter and with Facebook that I don't have with an email in terms of size. I've just got to work at keeping it short enough to fit within those limits, is what you're saying?
Exactly. I mean, you're just adjusting to people's attention span. You're taking an email blast where you have, you try and keep it to maybe one screen or one page, an email blast, and now you're saying the people who are not reading email blasts have an even shorter attention span. So we got to take a fourth of that and put it on Facebook. Well, the people who don't want to look at Facebook have an even shorter attention span. So we got to take a third of that and put it on Twitter. And that's just what you have to do.
Now, I'm picking up increasingly text messages that are like 4 text blocks long.
Right.
Am I the only one who gets annoyed by that? I mean, if you got to tweet 2, 3 things in a row, do people say, why is that? Why am I getting 3 tweets? Come on, make it 1. Can I get away with a longer set of 3 tweets because I got